Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a non-spoiler review for Starflight by Brandon Sanderson. Just so I don't have to hold up this 400 and something page book the whole time, I'm going to put a picture of the cover in the screen. Starflight is a young adult science fiction novel by fantasy author Brandon Sanderson, and it is the second book in his series following Skyward, which was published in 2019. In Skyward, we were introduced to Spencer, who lives on a human-occupied planet called Detritus, and Detritus is constantly being attacked by an enemy alien force known as the Krell. Spencer's father was in the Detritus military, and he was a pilot, a very well-known, well-respected pilot, and one day he decided to betray his flight mates and follow the Krell. Therefore, Spencer has been looked down upon her whole life as the daughter of a traitor. Since Spencer is looked down upon, there were a lot of odds against her with regards to joining the military and becoming a pilot herself to kind of clear her name and her father's name. Because Spencer has something to prove, she went into military training with the utmost perseverance and became one of their best fighter pilots. At the end of Skyward, we have a big battle with the Krell. We also learn that Spencer has a natural ability, which is called chitonic ability, and she is able to hear alien communications. Spencer is also able to, using her mind, hyper jump between points and space. Starflight picks up right where Skyward left off. Early in the story, an alien ship crashes and lands on Detritus, and in the ship is an alien of unknown origin whose name is Alanic, and she is an emissary from another planet who is on her way to Starflight to join the Krell military. Spencer uses this opportunity to disguise herself as Alanic using a hologram system and decides to infiltrate Starflight so that she might steal a hyperdrive from the enemy so that her people will be able to get off of Detritus and stop being attacked by the Krell. I'm going to be talking about the things that I really liked in Starflight and then mention a couple things that I didn't really like. Overall, I enjoyed this book, so I'm going to have mostly positives to talk about, but I want to mention the few negatives I have. In case you're still deliberating if you want to read this book, you can decide for yourself if it's for you. The first thing I really liked about Starflight is that we got an expansion of the universe. In the first book, we only learned about the humans and the Krell and the one planet, but in this book, we get to see more of the galactic universe. We get to learn more about different planets, different worlds, different alien species. We get a look into the political system and how that works. So it adds a lot of context to what was happening to the humans on Detritus and why. We also get a lot of history and a lot of backstory about the battles between the humans and these different alien races and what the humans did to these alien races in order to make them so hated in the galaxy. In this series, humans are looked down upon because they started wars and they tried to use another alien species, which is very dangerous, to destroy other nations and other worlds. A big theme in this book is political corruption, which is always, in my opinion, interesting to read about. I always enjoy understanding and reading about the motivations of certain characters. So why are they corrupt? Why are they doing the things that they do? What's at stake? What did they stand to gain? Without these motivations, I feel like characters are very, very flat and the story just doesn't make sense. So a lot of this story, we learn how corrupt the political system is, which makes Spencer's mission more and more important. In Starflight, we learn about an alien entity called the Delvers. We don't actually get all the information about the Delvers. There's still a ton of unanswered questions I have about these beings. Brandon Sanderson didn't provide, like I said, all the answers to what these beings are, but Spencer can communicate with them. Alanic, the emissary that Spencer is impersonating, was on her way to Starflight to train how to fight Delvers because the galactic government fears that the Delvers will come back and attack their galaxy at some point or another. In book 1, we had a lot of pilot training. In book 2, we have some more pilot training, but it's different pilot training. Spencer is learning how to fight the Delvers, and she gets a new crew of flight mates of different alien species and teaches them how to fly better. And they have to, like I said, learn how to fight the Delvers. Delvers are described as these big maze-like beings, and Spencer has to teach her team how to navigate through these mazes and get to the heart of the Delver. If you kill that, the entire Delver dies. While people are navigating through the Delvers have the ability to make them hallucinate. So when Spencer was training, even though it was just a training simulation, there were definitely some really creepy moments where Spencer started hallucinating, and it reminded me of kind of like a sci-fi thriller. And I found her hallucinations really interesting because then you began to ask yourself, well, are these actual visions? Why are they important? Why would Brandon want to add these in? So that was one of my favorite parts of the book, was when she was actually flying into the Delvers. Another thing I really enjoyed about this book was that we got to see more of Spence's powers, her chitonic ability, her ability to enter the nowhere and hyperjump throughout space, as well as her ability to communicate with Delvers. Spensa definitely didn't master her powers in this book. She still has a lot to learn, so I'm really hoping in subsequent books that we will learn more about Spence's powers and how she uses them and how she came to have them and why they're important. The last thing I really enjoyed about Starsight was Mbot. So in Skyward, Spensa uncovers this starship in a cave, and she, with the help of a friend, refurbishes the ship, and that's the ship that she flies, and she calls the AI system Mbot. In Starsight, he is having this existential crisis. He really wants to be human. He's trying to understand what it means to be human, and he's constantly trying these different things. He's sassy, he's sarcastic, he's always giving Spensa a hard time, and I really like that theme of AI trying to understand humanity and come to terms with the fact that they aren't human, but they want to be. So we do have that trope with Mbot in this story, which I thought was really cute, and I really liked it. I only have a couple of cons for Starsight. The first con would be that the conflicts that Spensa faced seemed to be over with very quickly. They were resolved in what I felt like were very convenient manners. The whole story takes place over a very short amount of time, and a lot happens in this short amount of time that I feel like it was just too convenient. Even if Brandon had provided us the illusion of a longer time, I would have accepted that these things happened and were resolved so quickly if I knew that more time has passed. Additionally, this book did read, for me personally, very YA, which isn't a bad thing because it is marketed toward young adult. Very fast read, and the plot definitely isn't too convoluted or hard to understand. So that is it for my spoiler-free review of Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. Let me know in the comments if you have read Starsight and what you thought about it. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well as the little bell icon so you can be notified every time I post, and I will see you soon in another video. Goodbye!